Jim, have you been following?
No, I wasn't even there. It wasn't me. You can't pin it on me. I've got an alibi.
Well, I haven't really seen these, but I heard that there was something. Ronda Rousey did an interview with the Lapsed Fan, and there are some quotes that people are talking about. Here's one. The fact that they had me fighting Alexa Bliss at all was fucking ridiculous. And you want to know why they had me against Alexa Bliss? Because she had the most merch sales at the time. Like, what the fuck? That's your decision-making process? So let's stop there.
Oh, good
That's the
God.
first quote. A lot of people have a problem with the fact that she's complaining about working with Alexa Bliss, or that the wrestling promotion will push the person with the most merch sales.
Well, and you know how, what did they say? The internet meme, when the worst person you know makes a good point or whatever, there's some element here. Ronda Rousey, with the reputation she had, a UFC fighter, baddest bitch on the planet, whatever the tagline was. Alexa Bliss, as we've mentioned, is stretching it based on her size and diminutiveness for anybody. But she was popular, as is evidenced by the merchandise sales. But the thing I was about to say is, the problem is Ronda Rousey was so rotten. She was rotten Ronda for that last run because it wasn't a fun little frolic for her. You know, she and her friends, when she was in the UFC, always dreamed about being wrestlers together when they would sit in the hotel room and eat pizza and play with fucking Barbie dolls. I don't know what the women do these days. But when, after that initial run, and then she went home to have babies and breed goats, or breed goats and have babies, or breed babies and have goats. I don't know. She came back. She was rotten, and we talked about it. She looked like she didn't want to be there. It was a job. She couldn't be bothered. Very unimpressive. How did anybody ever fall so far so fast? That type of thing. And that's when she's telling them, your creative sucks, and I don't want to work with this person or whatever. So she was no better at that point. She was a disappointment because she didn't give a shit and she didn't want to do it. So all of these, Alexa Bliss doesn't have any fault in this besides just being small, but there's enough blame to go around, is what I'm saying.
Jim, I have another quote here, also from the Lapsed Fan interview.
Who is this guy and why did he lapse? Was it a lapse in judgment or a lapse in character?
I believe it's more than one person, and it's a program or
podcast. A lot of them. Well, you know, a lot of them follow the road to ruin these days.
Apparently, she was talking about how when the regime change happened, they only cared about the bloodline because it was spearheaded by Paul Heyman. Let's get this quote. They were only spending a little bit of time on the bloodline because Heyman was the head of all that. And he was like the Vince whisperer, being able to get shit through. And it shows. It shows that it's like, oh, we're going to spend some time on it and run this and fuck everyone else. That's why they were doing the same rehashed shit over and over and over again, because that was just what Vince came up with the night before.
Didn't she used to be a Heyman girl? Wasn't Heyman a big proponent of hers? Has she turned on the worm, as the old saying goes?
I don't know, but I mean, the bloodline wasn't always perfect, but it was also the biggest thing and the longest lasting thing they've done in the most recent period of time. Is she crazy for criticizing the amount of time they gave the bloodline?
Yeah. Compared to once again, how delusional is she that, you know, she thought she needed to be on screen anywhere near as often as the bloodline. And basically her friends in her group of girls all flunked out, and Schaefer's over now looking lovely in a fucking tight top and stooging for the worst wrestler in the world. And where'd the other girl go? What was her name?
Jessamine
God damn
Duke?
it.
Was it Jessamine Duke?
No, but there was another one.
Shayna Baszler.
Shayna Baszler. Where's she at?
They let her go, I believe, or her contract expired.
Okay, point is, they were supposed to give them as much time as they gave the Bloodline? I think not.
Well, here's another quote. This one from the... Oh, no, this is from a different interview. This is an interview with Cage Side Seats. Apparently, she's doing the rounds.
The other guy must have lapsed.
She said that superstars like Logan Paul or the Bloodline got special attention that people like her didn't get. They were handed things the day of the show. Here's the quote. The Bloodline is able to plan things out a year ahead of time, and they won't even talk to me until I get to the arena. About anything. Proved in my first match that if you give me the time, the resources and preparation...
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I can put together an amazing match. And I feel...
If you give me the time, the resources, and the preparation, it was her first match. They practiced it nauseatingly to get it right, and it was a masterpiece of the booking, and they carried it off. And she carried it off. It was the greatest debut of all time, but it was that, as I was explaining earlier, talking about the mixed tag with Punk and AJ and Seth and Becky, they need to work it out ahead of time so that the girls are the highlight of the thing and give them the spots like they did that match, because that's a special fucking match also, but she can't expect that every goddamn time she was ever going to get in the ring. And here's another, yet they may have planned out some of the Bloodline essence a year out, but I'm sorry, if you sat down a year ago or 2 years ago when this was going on and said to any member of the Bloodline, even Heyman, tell me everything's going to happen right now for the next year, they would have gone, what, huh? Everything? It's no, she was an attraction, but she dumbed herself out of position, Ronda Rousey, by being rotten and showing the people that she didn't give a shit. And then they turned on her, the fans and the office, because she didn't give a shit, and they knew it. And I had an email from someone in the office who said, however difficult you may think she was to work with, it was worse. So...
Well, let's finish this quote here, and I apologize for any modulation issues here on the line. And I feel like
now you're directing it that way, aren't you? It's late in the day. People are using up the electricity around here.
And I feel like they're really doing that with Logan Paul and allowing him to rehearse and put these things together and have all these different resources and producers to bring him to his highest potential.
Because he's now only had 23 matches. And to be quite honest, almost every single one of them he's knocked out of the park, where she debuted with a bullet and fucking lost ground until she fell off the charts. So again, Logan Paul, bigger attention, bigger gross, bigger performances, gets more attention.
Ronda Rousey was asked by Raj Prashad of Yahoo Sports, another interview, about if she would go back. I really have no reason to go back. I wanted to do a run with the 4 Horsewomen, and I never got to do that. And now I feel like I've already accomplished everything that I wanted to in WWE. And all that's really left for me is to go there and have fun with my friends. And none of my friends are there anymore.
And breed goats.
I know where one of her friends is.
She ought to go there to the ultimate have fun with my friends fucking resort.
What was it? Didn't she do a dark match like Ring of Honor, like the weekend of a pay-per-view?
She did a Ring of Honor match so she could team up with one of her friends.
I just don't know if I could ever be on the road with that company again. I have 2 girls now, and hopefully we can have some more soon. I'd love that. And there's just no room in my life to be able to maintain that lifestyle and a family at the same time.
Well, and I'm firmly in favor of Ronda Rousey picking her family over wrestling. I think it'd be better for everybody. Have some more babies. Just pop them right out.
Well, Jim, one more quote from Ronda Rousey. This one is about Jon Moxley and what he has done for Marina Shafir. Going from being like, how do I do an arm drag, to being part of 5-star matches and stuff like that. It's really great to see her just having so much joy with it and rising to the top of the and rising to the top level of the industry.
Hold on, wait a minute. I got to find something sharp so I can start sawing at my jugular. 5-star matches and stuff like that.
I think so much has to do with Jon Moxley being the most incredible human being ever. He is just so supportive and so kind and so passionate. He's just so humble.
Has she had some type of relations with him? I thought she was married to some other MMA fighter. But Jon Moxley is so kind and caring and passionate and giving. And he always makes sure I come first.
He's just so humble. And I feel, listen, I can't read it after what you just said. He's just so humble.
He's a giving lover.
And I feel like so much of that success stems from his talent. And not just his talent, but his willingness and passion to give back. See, now I can't read any of this, you fucking... Because of how perverted you made it. And to bring
and the things he can do with his tongue.
And to bring up everybody with him and have his rising tide lift all of their boats.
Boy, I'll tell you what, somebody's tide is high.
And I'm so grateful for him and the kind of friend that he's been to Marina.
That's all that it takes is for someone to glorify her and her little circle of friends, and she thinks they're incredible. But the actual talented, successful, smart people in the business that don't think that there's any money in them anymore, well, they're just horrible.
People like Moxley are the real lifeblood of this industry. And I hope that continues and that it's encouraged and that it's not like some cutthroat me versus you kind of environment. It's the culture and the giving back to each other and the constant hands helping each other up. That's what makes it continue to be great.
Hands helping each other up.
And will continue to make pro wrestling rise in cultural awareness.
Wait, how about in goddamn tickets sold? Fuck rising tides and boats and hands lifting each other up and cultural awareness. Sell me some fucking tickets, bitch, or elsewise I'm going to cut you and find somebody that can. That's the goddamn wrestling business. You don't get to play with your friends all the fucking time. Jesus Christ. Go have goats if that's, my advice to her. No wonder she likes Moxley. She likes goats and farm animals. So it's right there in the same fucking personality traits.
But with Marina, too, she's been used with the main event act at AEW.
To stand there and walk around and do a judo throw. And I mean, I'm not pushing for her to have a larger part in the thing, but nothing has been done in a year with... She's still doing the same thing. She wanders around with the Buster Keaton face, and she does a judo throw and interferes every once in a while. And now on pay-per-view, she's allowed to take a bump every great so often. It's the same thing. There's no development here. What have they done to make her draw money by... not just Marina Shafir, who they've been pushing for a year on AEW television in some role, whatever this is, whatever, she's the straw that stirs whatever. They got AJ Lee over in 2 weeks to draw money in a main event of a fucking pay-per-view. They've been pushing this other girl for a fucking year in AEW, and she hasn't sold a ticket to do anything because she hadn't done anything. And again, you go back to look at it a different way. WWE has AJ Lee set to headline a fucking pay-per-view, and AEW brought back Riho. What?
I'm excited
Where
for
is
that.
this?
For the record, I'm excited for Riho versus Mercedes.
Oh, Christ. But I mean, that's the problem, is that some of these people who get handed these positions, like Ronda Rousey, because of who they were previously, never get a chance to go through the process and be fully smartened up to the fucking business. And they naturally then gravitate to these indie-minded small timers who have the attitude about the business that she just expressed in hands, helping hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you, sweet wrestling. And they want to play with their friends, versus if you started not thinking you were smart and you were broken in by experienced professional people and you were told how to think about the business, then you would be with the smart folks over here making all the fucking money, knowing how to think about the goddamn wrestling business. And a guy and his wife against a guy and his wife is going to draw more money than every Japanese legend and fucking friend that loves to do their routines with each other. Because that's what people want to fucking see.
Can you run a company if you have I mean, you can, and they have the money too, but you know what I mean, practically. If you have multiple people on your roster who require you to give them a producer that will go through everything weeks in advance and work over matches, like if you have a bunch of people like that, it can't work.
Well, no, besides that, again, it's a special occasion when you have Logan Paul in his first 4 or 5 matches, or Ronda Rousey in her first match with the daughter of the goddamn boss at the time, whatever. And you got to work this out. Or some big main event that's drawing tens of millions of dollars, if for some reason one or both of the talent feel like they got to rehearse or whatever. But no, that's not what the majority of this is. Even if you know what you're going to do, or even somebody tells you what the finish is, you know, you get there that day and go to the ring and work something out. It's not like that you can just have everybody up and down the card, you know. Oh, we'll send a producer down to Tallahassee or wherever you live next week to work this out for your third match on the fucking pay-per-view. What? No. If you're a professional, and if they think it's bad, again, I've mentioned that for the entire time that I was in the business as a manager, you found out what you were going to fucking, until I got on the booking team, obviously. Then I had some clue. You found out what you were going to goddamn do when you showed up at TV that night an hour before the bell. What the? Yes, it's gotten more complicated, but if you know at noon that day and you can't figure out something to do, then call Shopify and find a new line of work.
Should Tony Khan consider signing Ronda Rousey, maybe even Shayna Baszler? Should he consider it? He needs stars. I'm not saying she'll be the easiest to work with. She may not even want to do it. It's a light schedule.
But then besides that, then the rest of his girls division would have a cow, because then, well, Ronda didn't want to work with Alexa. You think she's going to work with Riho? Is there any kind of heat with old Mercedes?
I think she'll work with her friends, and then it'll be kind of like a Hurt Syndicate situation where there's no one to work with, so you just kind of see them every now and then. They stand around and tell you something.
I think she needs to go back to the farm, Ronda.